He said something like, people cannot just wake up and then get allocated. They think they can just get allocated dollars from the central bank. Are they still not doing it? Are they still not doing their normal round tripping? Didn't they announce that the Bureau de change in Nigeria, which according to them, they were the reasons why Nigerian naira was crashing. So therefore, they banned them, right? And then they told them to go and pay a certain amount of money so that they will get another new license issued by them, by these Tinubu guys. And then they are celebrating sharing dollars to them, telling them how much to sell dollars. Is that not a kind of like public information? That's available in everywhere, Nabi. Were they not telling you that they distributed over 1.5 billion? They did distribute over 1.5 billion. Just as recent, the Akadobi shared over $1.5 billion to Bureau de change in Nigeria so that they can control how much exchange rate is in Nigeria. Is that not round tripping? But this is not the same guys who told you that market forces will determine how much the dollar naira will exchange for and how much petrol and what have you will be sold for, blah, 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 market forces. And what is it talking about? It's saying something about direction of agriculture. Hello. I remember when Egbere Jolantan, before this Boko Haram of a thing, and then the Fulani terrorists took over. Nigeria used to have a silo. Yeah. Oh my God, like there are things that you used to have in that place. So now they are like, if I try to remind some of you, they are going to be sounding like I'm talking about 1960. But this was just 9 years ago. 9 years ago, Nigeria. Less than a decade. All the things, you used to have farms funded by the federal government of Nigeria. You used to have reserves for food, grains. When Boko Haram came in 2015, in his effort to try to want to combat hunger in northern Nigeria, I don't know if you remember. Well, internet doesn't forget. You can use your other phone right now and Google this. 210 trucks of grains were released from the National Reserve. That National Reserve right now no get any single bag of grain. For 9 years, APC, Egbekede, has been unable to grow food or harvest anything, talk less of preserving or saving anything. For 9 years, they took a loan of $2 billion from the African Development Bank, where this guy is, Akinwumi Adesina. They gave Nigeria $2.4 billion to fund agriculture in Nigeria. But guess what? Half of the farms, which were mostly in northern Nigeria, half of the farms, when it was time for them to harvest, Boko Haram took over those farms in Borno, in Sokoto, in all these places. They took over the farms. That was why they bagged sawdust, sand, and what they call the rice paddy to build a fake rice pyramid in Abuja that they have harvested rice. And yet the price of food never changed. It kept going up and up and up and up. Food inflation in Nigeria, because it was fake. They needed to justify that the money they took from African Development Bank, AFDB, that it was a success, but it wasn't. Central Bank of Nigeria, that's part of the loan Nigeria is owing now. $2.4 billion entered Canal because of the insecurity, because of the Fulani terrorism, because of the Boko Haram, especially from northern part of Nigeria. They had to put up a fake pyramid, rice pyramid in Abuja. Emefiole and gang. They took Boko Haram there. You saw the, you remember now, I can bring you the video and ask them, where is the rice afterward? Because it was fake. So can anybody tell me where is Nigeria government, Tinubu's government, currently funding agriculture, and where those farms are in Nigeria? Till tomorrow, if you go and Google where they spent Jonathan's money, Jonathan's money on agriculture, is online. Go on now and check it. Kirby, especially in Kirby. These guys emptied the national silo of Nigeria, and they've added not a single grain to that up to today. Now they are what? They are importing the rice that they are bagging and sharing. That is why if you have any problem, flooding, they will give you rice. If you have complaint of unemployment, they will give you rice. If you are complaining of poor security, they will give you rice. Whatever it is your problem that you are complaining about, they will give you rice. Imported rice. And that's a new contract for the boys to bring in rice from all over the world so that they can back them and share rice. I wonder why they are not sharing rice this December like they did last December, remember? But the coordinating minister of economy, Wale Idun, is blabbing on national television, telling you that Tinubu is taking you to a new direction, a better direction. And so in December 2025, when your Shege or your Bedu enter body very well, okay, they will be ready again to tell you how much Tinubu saved you as well. So it's supposed to be economists. Are these the economists? This one.
Not at all. I don't think so. I think the CNG rollout is underway. The buses are being have been ordered, are being assembled, are being delivered, and are being distributed. And in the first instance, it is the labor unions in particular and student unions that have benefited. And even today, we made arrangements to make more available to them. But let me put in context what you say is making a bad case worse. Without the steps that were taken, what was the situation of Nigeria? Living on overdraft, headed for a fiscal crisis based on the fact that oil revenue was low, theft was rampant, insecurity plagued the land, both in the agriculture and negatively affected not just the social life, agriculture negatively affected the all-important oil sector. That was the situation. And in turning that situation around, and as I say, stabilizing government finances by taking what a few had and giving it to the many, it is something that governments around the world are struggling with. Being able to balance their finances, being able to put government expenditure and revenue on a sustainable basis. If you look at Europe, if you look at the likes of France and Germany, that is what they are struggling with now. Having achieved that, it is a question of mathematics. You say to yourself, okay, 5% of GDP each year is being saved. It means that the revenues to government from that core source will be increasing every year ad infinitum. And that creates and has created a relatively stable, more stable economic environment. The exchange rate that you talk about running away, if anything, it is coming back. It is now, it was once as high as 17, 18, 1900. It is now 1535. That is positive. The budget deficit is down from 6.1% to 4% or thereabouts at the end of the second quarter. The trade balance is positive. The current account surplus is positive. It is 11.5% of GDP. We have over 1 year's coverage of imports. The standard is six months. what we made, what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu made, was less than one month, less than 1% coverage of the current account balance as a percentage of GDP. So these are all the positive trends that have created the basis for us to be confident that, given the stability that is now coming to the Nigerian economy, investors, domestic investors and foreign investors will come to the table. We have described what has happened in the sector. For the individuals, for the poorest and most vulnerable, the direct payments, which have now reached 25 million households, a series of direct payments efficiently made. As we know, at first, that all-important exercise didn't go according to plan and went back to the drawing board. And we now have a process whereby the beneficiaries on the social register that are intended to receive a series of direct payments into their accounts are uniquely and biometrically identified through being given a NIN, and they are digitally provided with the funds by a BVN through a bank account or a digital wallet. So you have a very robust system that will stand the test of time for intervening directly and helping Nigerians who, when they receive those funds, can decide what their priority is.
Nuisance lele. Nuisance lele.
There is nothing called social register for poor people. When Tinubu was reading that 2025 copy and paste budget, he said that they have shared over 25 billion naira to students who needed student loan. This same Wale Edun said they have shared over 90 billion to over 500,000 students for student loan. This is how they drop their normal figures. But if you pay attention to what they are saying, you can see through the lies. This same Wale Edun said that they have given 25,000 naira to 25 million households in Nigeria through their banks, through the bank accounts. But this bank account doesn't exist. They don't exist. So when we put all of that together, it was like saying we have shared over 625 billion naira in 3 months, he said, in 3 months. Now, he just repeated that again in that interview. And I expect the interviewer to say, okay, there must be a data we can prove further. Can you tell us the banks, that is, the banks that are helping with all these accounts of these 25 million Nigerians, poorest Nigerians, who are being paid 25,000 naira every month? So when we put all that together, this is like 625 billion naira. But it is not true. There is no evidence of that. They are doctoring vital information, data, and they don't care. They just roll it out. They just say it. You can't question it. If you question it, right, they will add another lie. If you try to, they will add another lie. And if you are not, if you are too persistent, like, you are not giving up, then they will call you enemy of the country, who doesn't like good news. 25 million people is not a mean number. There is no national register. One of the things that got the Minister of Disaster, Poverty Increments, that was Omo Betta Edu, was that she stole over 9 billion naira, but she didn't steal it alone. According to the report, Betta Edu paid consultants to help them develop the poor people's register, because the minister before her, Shadia Farouk, you know, that ministry was opened as a compensation for Shadia, the former Bokwari's girlfriend. In case if you don't know, when Bokwari was still able to knock in the 80s, Shadia, a very young Shadia, was reported to be, you know, a regular, a girlfriend of a Bokwari. They usually cook for Bokwari and his friends, even though Bokwari was to later marry a young Aisha. Long story. So she was compensated. It was Pastor Ruga who started the idea of sharing money in what they called helping the poor people, or giving poor people money to start business, like give them 10,000 naira to start a business. It was Pastor Ruga. So after the 2019 Charade election, they took it away from Pastor Ruga and they opened a shop, a ministry of humanitarian disaster management and poverty increments for Shadia. And Shadia was supposed to develop a national register where all the poor people will register, so that every penny they give to them can be accounted for. Shadia will now go about and gather poor people. They may gather poor people in Mararaba. They will give them 5,000 and take their picture. Those ones will flash the money. Shadia will go back and say, Omo Shadia was like Allah Joshomolu, who collected a thrift from from 1,000 people, and he never wrote them down. He never write anything down, and he never made mistake. Allah Joshomolu. That was exactly the character of Shadia. Shadia's ministry was supposed to develop a register to say people that collected money. This was how much they collected from this part of the country and that. But no, Shadia became a philanthropist. Wherever she goes, she goes with a bag of money. Then they will take pictures of people. So when Tinubu guys came in, what did the Betta do? What did she do? She hired consultants to help them because there was no register. Shadia shared over 600 billion. Can you believe that? Shadia, for 4 years, Shadia shared over 4 trillion naira. 4 trillion naira to poorest people in Nigeria. And there was no single account. There was no single account. Well, that's what they told us. That's what Omo Betta said. So Omo Betta now shared 9 billion naira. 9 billion naira to consultancy. There was this guy, the wife, supposedly, the wife of the Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Ojo. Olubunmi Ojo has a company, his own SPV company, special purpose vehicle. This is how they run their scams, okay? They call them SPV. So Olubunmi Ojo had a company. And that business was registered in, you won't believe this, so it was registered in May 2023. Now, this Olubunmi Ojo's company became a consultant to the Ministry of the Ministry of Humanitarian Disaster and Poverty Increment. So he said he resigned from it, that it was his wife that is managing it, and he can't stop his wife from collecting contract from government. So they paid Olubunmi Ojo's wife 670 million naira to help them develop the register for poor people in Ekiti, poor people in Ogun State, poor people in Ondo State, 3 states. Just give us the names of the poor people. Take this is around the 60 million, it's around 70 million naira. That's how the Omo Betta shared over 9 billion naira So when Omo Beta got exposed, as we traced the money to left, right, and center, who got what, they suspended her. That was how Wale Edu took over the pots for sharing money. Do you know that? Do you remember that? Because this is me just giving you a flashback now. That is why Wale Edu can tell you that in his own time, Unko, he has shared 625 billion naira to 25 million Nigerians through their BVN bank accounts, but they've never told us which bank is running it. Which bank is running it? What and what bank? Because 25 million people is not a small number. That's practically saying about 70 million Nigerians are benefiting from this money. And these guys have already, they have claimed that they have shared over 1.25 trillion naira. This is number that normally, man. But yeah, so then Tinubu has done so well to make sure that the poor people, they said they gave the money to the poor people so that the poor people can determine what they wanted to use the money for. But we are yet to see anybody to come out and claim they collected any money. How could people be so callous? Like, how can they be this so, like, cold-hearted? It is sad. Honestly speaking, it is. When they tell you that they are lifting people out of poverty, guy, they are actually lifting themselves out of poverty. That's what I've seen. Yeah, they are not lifting any of you out of any poverty. They are dipping you into it through their economic policies. And they will use propaganda to get you so confused that you begin to wonder, like, I may be a problem. You see, I don't understand. Are they talking about? I don't get it. They will run you mad. They will run you crazy. Eh? See not how this grandma, Loretta Onoche, took a camera guy and went all about in this sawdust bagged rice pyramid. Sawdust pyramid in Abuja with confidence. Where are the bag of rice now?
Everyone should come and see this. Everyone should come and see this. This is marvelous. This is wonderful. I have been hearing about it over the last few weeks. And then today, I'm so delighted to be here. Look at this. This is all rice. Look at this. Just look at this. Just look at this. Look at this, surrounded by rice. God bless the Nigerian farmers. God bless Baba Buhari. Say Baba. Say Baba Buhari. This is rice, made in Nigeria rice. It's not foreign. Oh. This one not be China. Oh. This one not be Thailand. Oh. This one are Niger. Original Niger rice with flavor, with good taste. This one. Say Baba. See rice. See rice. I have never seen something like this. This is brilliant. This is wonderful. I just love the ambience of this place. I love this place. Woo! This is, just look at. Just have a look at. Just have a look at. Just watch.
Watch me.
Just watch. And all of them have thank you Baba Buhari on them. Very appreciative Nigerian farmers. Most of them benefited from the Anchor Borrowers Program. And here are their products. They are here at the Abuja Trade and Convention Center. Everyone should come and see. Look at, we are still going. We are still going. See what we have here. See what we have here. See, this is rice. This is rice.
Yeah.
Rice. Ooh, rice. Rice, millions upon millions of them. Yes, see. Just look at. Did you hear that? This government is working. Look at it. Anchor Borrowers Program. Thank you to Central Bank.